played with Aaron for 7 years. Do you think it would be a big mistake for him to play anywhere else other than in Green Bay, Wisconsin next
Put him on the spot. Put him on the spot.
Yeah, I don't. This is tough. And the reason, I'll start off with this. If they are willing to re-sign Corey Linsley, re-sign Aaron Jones, and bring back the pieces that made that team so special this year, and kind of keep that nucleus and assure Aaron Rodgers that he will have another opportunity to at least compete for a championship without starting over, then yes, I think he stays. I think he has to stay, because you would look at the landscape of the National Football League and say, where is the grass going to be greener? Where is there going to be a better opportunity that they will send you to? That's the key, that they would be willing to send you to in a trade. And I don't know if there would be a better place outside of Green Bay. And so with that, and it's not like, and I hear these reports, but sitting down with Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur and this team all year, I don't see that there's that big of a rift. Now, here's the caveat. Yes, when you lose, it goes all the way back to what happened and what didn't happen. And what happened was they drafted Jordan Love. They didn't get him additional pieces. And that becomes the big focal point when you lose. When it doesn't work out, everybody goes back to what could have been, what should have been. And then when you look at, again, teams that are in the Super Bowl, let's just look at these two teams, nobody else. You look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were willing to do whatever it took to improve that roster, to ensure that their quarterback had every potential piece that he desired so that it would make him better. Then you look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They were willing to do the same. They didn't even need anything else. We could argue they didn't need more pieces, but they go get Le'Veon Bell just in case, to add a little bit more depth, to add a pass-catching running back out of the backfield, to ensure the more talent. But you look at the Green Bay Packers and their lack of willingness to just surround Aaron Rodgers with guys. That is frustrating. And as a receiver, like, he's always had plethora of receivers and options where he can look to his left, he can look to his right, and there were guys that can get open and make plays in crucial moments like we saw this past Sunday.
Greg, I think those are all good points, and I think it's a good discussion, but I sense some subterfuge here. I think I know what's happening. This is not that different than if NBA Countdown were to leak to the press. I hear Charles Barkley is really mad at Shaq for that Donovan Mitchell segment, and he wants out. I'm just hearing. I'm just telling you. What word on the media streets is Barkley might want out of that show. You know why? Because it weakens your opponent and a chance to help you. If you read this Jason La Canfora article, he says he got a text from a number he didn't know, which was the head coach of another team, saying, I think Aaron Rodgers would be great here. Spoiler alert, there are 31 teams in the league that would love to have Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. There's only one, Kansas City, that would be like, no, we're good. So I think Rodgers, Brandon, wants security. I think Rodgers wants to know they are not going to move on from him for Jordan Love, not this offseason, but in future offseasons. I don't think he's trying to get out of town, because where are they trading him? He wants to go play for the Jets? That's what he wants. I know you love the Jets. I know you would be like, yeah, that'd be great. It wouldn't be great. It would be terrible. Devontae Adams scored 18 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers is about to win a semi-fraudulent MVP. I don't think, Brandon, he wants out. I don't think he wants out, Brandon.
San Francisco.
They're not trading him at
the Rams.
Okay, go ahead.
They won't do it.
God, Nick, will you stop this? We had the same discussion with James Harden in Houston. If he wants out, he'll get out. And he'll go wherever he wants. We said the same thing.
Do you think he wants out?
I think this is 100% true because of everything that Greg said. Greg, you didn't want to go out there. You should have basically said he should leave. He spent 16 years in Green Bay. 13 years as the starter, and you said they're not willing to give him what he needs to get it done. He has won Super Bowl. And a couple years ago, we were saying he could potentially be the greatest quarterback of all time. One Super Bowl. That was with you. Where's the other one? Where's 2? Where's 3? Where's 4? When you're a great quarterback, Greg, you know that. You have multiple rings on your hand. So for that reason, Greg, I think this is real. He's looking at it like, you know what? Tom Brady did it. Tom Brady went to Tampa, found a great situation, and then now he's in a Super Bowl. I think he's really looking at this and looking at the options out there. And I truly believe San Francisco will be a great spot. I think the Rams will be a great spot. I don't know how they get it done. Nick is the resident GM. He can tell you about the cap. He can tell you about all the trade pieces. But I think he should be looking at this and considering it.
And I'm not saying that he shouldn't be considering it and shouldn't be looking at it, but if the Packers, and this was the point that I made, if the Packers are unwilling to re-sign some of those crucial pieces and assets that they had this past season moving forward to ensure that he will have another opportunity, because let's face it, if he goes, to say he would get traded to another NFC team, it's just hard for me to see that happening when the Green Bay Packers would have to face him to get to where they just left the NFC Championship game. They would have to go through Aaron Rodgers.
But Greg, it's the same story. Those guys that you want him to re-sign is homegrown. That's what you guys have done for 30, 40 years. We draft Greg Jennings. Greg Jennings is going to lead us to the Super Bowl, right? But what happened in the time that y'all won the Super Bowl, where y'all kind of went outside the box? Who'd y'all go get a couple years before? Charles Woodson. Y'all, that's what you guys need to do. Who is that playmaker? Who is that honey badger that's going to complement that offense? Just give me the ball back a couple times. Charles Woodson, if you threw that ball up in the air and it was hanging for maybe a second too long, it was going the other way. That's what they're missing, is that splash free agent that can come in and make an impact right away.
I couldn't agree with you anymore.
They did add Zadarius Smith, to be fair, a year ago. He was a hell of an addition.
Guys, why is Scotty Miller saying he would beat Tyreek Hill in a foot race? I think the Scotty Too Hotty nickname's getting to his head. We'll discuss next. First things first.
Definitely. This is crazy. Greg, I wanted to hear more.
I don't
want to hear it anymore. I was like locked in. I thought I was going to keep going.
I know, so was I.
I wasn't.
Hey, Bucks wideout Scotty Miller turned some heads with that blazing touchdown in the NFC title games. He and Tyreek Hill will be two of the fastest players on the field in the Super Bowl next Sunday. But who would win in a race between the two? Scotty says Scotty.
How would you do if you and Tyreek Hill lined up?
Oh, I'm taking me every day of the week. I'll take me over anybody. Tyreek is unbelievable, super quick, unbelievable talent. But if we're talking about a race, I mean, I got all the confidence in myself going up against anybody.
Wait, you think you're the fastest guy in the NFL?
Yes, sir.
Well, Tyreek heard. He replied with this: hell of a player, good for him. Someone's taking the high road. Brandon, who you take in a race between Tyreek or Scotty?
Jenna, Nick gave him the nickname Scotty Too Hotty. Tyreek's nickname is the Cheetah. Come on, like, really? He didn't even believe it at the end. He was like, me. He didn't even believe it. I'm going with the Cheetah all day.
All right, listen, I don't blame Scotty Miller for this. We're all parents. Wilds, hot take here alert.
Yeah.
I blame Scotty Miller's parents. This is the product of a culture that tells kids you can literally be anything. Guess what? Probably can't. I love all my kids. There's one that has a chance at, like, you can be president. The other two, drawing dead. No chance whatsoever. I love all my kids.
There's fast,
one that has a chance of ever being a varsity athlete. It's like, oh, no, you can make the WNBA one day. No, you can't. His parents lied to him, and he made the NFL, so he bought into the lies. Guess what? Parents, encourage your children, but don't lie to them. Don't tell them, oh, yeah, you can be the fastest man alive. No, you can't. You can't.
Okay. All right. So a few things. One, you know, I wake up and read the internet front to back every morning before the show. And, of course, once I saw this, I'm like, oh, I got to dig into Scotty Miller highlights when he was running track. And he has one of those 4x100 relays. I'm a sucker for all those. You get the baton. Where is he? Oh, here he comes, Mr. Too Hotty. Reason number two. Remember Tyreek Hill? is